Today at Theo's Speed Shop, we're talking about Mickey Hart and Cleveland's shop of horsepower and hijinks. Today, we're diving into one of Cleveland's true drag racing characters, Mickey Hart. When you hear people talk about Mickey, it's typically not just about the wild cars that came out of his shop. It's about the stories, the atmosphere, and the unpredictability of being around the guy.
Mickey wasn't just a race car guy or a builder, he was an experience. You didn't just go to Hart Automotive, you survived it. And without getting messed with, you probably weren't there long enough.
Mickey got his start the way a lot of us did, in the early 60s, working out of his parents' garage in Cleveland, doing general repair work, building engines, and taking care of whatever came through the door. But he got hooked on superchargers and making big power.
That reputation spread quickly. By 1963, he moved into a small warehouse space on 117th Street in Cleveland. And his new neighbors had some serious names. A guy like Joey Andrunka from Mr. Gasket, Gentleman Joe Shoebuck. And by the end of 1965, Mickey had outgrown the space and bought a building on Triscuit Road. Location mattered, because right nearby was Scranton Road, one of the hottest street racing spots at the time. So it wasn't just put your stuff together and hope it works. And Mickey wasn't above showing out up in the street with a full-out drag car and making passes down the street to show off the horsepower he was making. Mickey considered this a good way to test out changes before going to the track. Basically, the street was his dyno.
Stories are a little mixed on the years, but we do know Willie Barth was a trusted helping hand in the shop, handling ordering parts and small fabrication. Larry Sikora was also someone you'd commonly find at Hart Automotive. He was very well respected and knew his way around fabrication and chassis work. Another name that needs to be said in this story is Chuck Finders. We believe at some point in 1965, Chuck was traveling with Stone, Woods, and Cook, but an argument led to him being left in Cleveland. He found a home at Hart Automotive on and off for years. The shop quickly became more than just a business. It turned into a gathering place. Late nights, cars running, people hanging around. This wasn't open 9 to 5. This was open until the police told you to go home, and that happened regularly. The group that hung around there became known as Mickey's Mob, and that name fits because when you walked into that place, you were fair game. There are a lot of stories about the atmosphere inside Hart Automotive. One that gets told a lot, delivery drivers coming in with parts and Mickey just grabbing them in a full bear hug and start repeatedly kissing them on the neck and face. Another thing to watch out for, if you were walking through a doorway in that shop, you always looked up first. There was a real good chance something was waiting for you. A bucket, water, and who knows, something was above and it was coming down.
One of the funner stories that goes around involves the top fuel racer who came into town. He need a rush job on my cylinder heads. And you got to picture this. The guy's probably in a hurry, demanding, and he needs these things done now. Mickey smirks and tells the guy, yeah, sure, come on back tomorrow. Proceeds to take the heads, throws them in the hot tank, hooks a chain to them, hooks it to his truck, drags them up and down the road, calls the guy, come on back in, they're done. I did a special service treatment to help him seal the horsepower.
But underneath all that, Mickey Hart was the real deal. His cars were competitive and his engines won races, and that was key. This wasn't just a bunch of guys joking around. These were some of the fastest cars around, whether it was on the street or on the track.
He had success in competition eliminator and AA gas, and he was selling match races to Norwalk, Thompson, Dragway 42, and they were advertised as Match Race Madness, which was huge back then. It's how you built your name, and it's how you built your business. Cars out of Hart Automotive include a blown 56 driven by Sam Jones, a front-engine dragster, the It Takes a Thief 33 Willys driven by Paul Hogan, the King of Kings Roadster often driven by Chuck Finders, a Vega funny car driven by Mr. Ken Mott, a 68 Camaro funny car, a 48 Chevy called the Little Charmer driven by Bill Levick. Bill Levick also went on to drive the Hart 33 Willys. And every one of the cars wore the Hart Automotive logo on the side, usually really big, which meant something. Mickey reached a major milestone, winning AA Street Roadster at the NHRA U.S. Nationals in 1967. In the U.S. National, it's just not another race. It's where you prove what you got. He certainly did.
In 1968, he set out to build something cutting edge, a a 1933 Willys that pushed the limit of design. It had purpose. He lowered the front grille and flush mounted the side windows to let the air glide over and around it, vents in the top of the trunk to let the air escape, and wings mounted on the rear fenders to add downforce. These were referred to as Dumbo ears. The car was initially black with a big block Chevy and then later transformed to the paint scheme it's known for today with a blown injected Hemi in late '69.
The car was an absolute beast. Not only did it perform, it stood out. When this car pulled up to the line, people paid attention.
In 1972, everything changed. During qualifying at Thompson Dragway, driver Bill Levick was involved in a fatal crash in a different car.
Hit Mickey really hard. Not long after, he closed Hart Automotive and sold off the Willys, which tells you a lot about the kind of guy he was. For all the jokes, all the chaos, it was the people that mattered. Mickey Hart left behind more than just race results. He left behind a legacy of creativity, performance, and shop culture people still talk about today.
And that's what keeps this history alive.
Please stay tuned in to Theo's Speed Shop and we'll give you more great history of our sport. So how's the car end up like this today? When we ended our episode, we talked about Mickey Hart selling the car. The car actually went to Larry Covert. It was sold without a motor and transmission. Larry put an injected big block Chevy in the car and raced the car for about 6 or 7 years. The car did very well for Larry. Larry got sick, the car got parked and sat until the mid-1990s. At that point, the car was made into a street car. The paint job was taken away. A big block Chevy with the tunnel ram was put into a 4-speed. It lasted a couple of years and the car went back into storage till 2010 when Don Moyer got his hands on it. And Don Moyer wasn't looking for another fiberglass Willys. He was looking for something steel. But when he learned it was the Hart car, he got really excited and put the time and effort into restoring it. After a couple of years, he actually has raced the car. The car's been as high as 830s in the quarter mile to 136 miles an hour, I believe. The car now sits in Theo's Speed Shop. We're doing driveway burnouts on it. I got a feel for it last year. Probably this coming spring, we'll do some more and get some smoke rolling off the tires just to make sure she's alive. So stay tuned in. We're going to have some fun with it. Hey, this is John. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, comment. If you got anything you want to see, let us know. We plan on keeping updates on what we're building. We tend to move pretty quick and get things done. In addition, we'll go through the museum downstairs and we'll show everybody what we got going and we'll keep you posted.
Stick with us. We always have something cool going on.